Texas Tornado is one of the most unique roller coasters in the world, mainly because of its signature poorly designed vertical loops. But this coaster offers an enjoyable ride, and likely not for the reason that you are thinking. Find out why I came off Texas Tornado impressed in this review. Hopkins, the designer of Texas Tornado, started off as a maker of ski lifts and is responsible for the Sky Ride at Wonderland. But this manufacturer had a unique relationship with the owners of this park that caused a variety of prototypes to be built in this remote location. The first was the log flume that was the prototype log flume for Hopkins. Then, in the 1980s, the park challenged Hopkins to make a roller coaster for them. In total, Wonderland in Amarillo, Texas is home to 6 prototype rides from Hopkins. Famously, this coaster is said to have been designed on a napkin, and once constructed, the coaster could not make it through the 2 vertical loops. Yes, this had the roller coaster tycoon design failure in real life. Thus, the 2 vertical loops were reconfigured to make it easier for the train to pass through them. Today, this still requires that the trains be essentially full for the park to dispatch a train. Others have stated that this coaster has a 10 or even 13 rider minimum, though the park required 15 riders per train during my visit. Overall, the park seemed to be pushing up the rider minimums on both Texas Tornado and Mousetrap, as it seemed like, at least for Mousetrap, the operators themselves would get yelled at if the trains valleyed, even if the minimum rider requirement was met. I visited on 2 days over the 4th of July, a Wednesday evening and a Thursday for the 4th, and the park was not too busy on either day. Wednesday evening actually seemed to have more people, though I only saw Texas Tornado go 3 times during that span, and was waiting to ride it the following day when I thought it would be busier, but it was not busier on the 4th of July at all. I did see this coaster go once on the 4th while I was on another attraction, plus the 3 rides that I got on it, for a total of 7 times this coaster ran over the 2 days that I was at the park. Before talking about why it is so hard to actually ride this coaster, one has to discuss this park's pay structure, which is actually very reasonable. All guests must purchase a wristband to enter. Either $30 for the basic wristband or $45 for the upgraded wristband, which includes mini golf, 1 ride on the dark ride Fantastic Voyage, and unlimited rides on Texas Tornado, plus a free soft drink. There seems to be some type of walk-in package, but I think this is only available once you get inside the park, so possibly for return visits. But they were requiring all guests to purchase a wristband when I was at the ticket booth. Essentially, if you're not trying to ride Texas Tornado, you don't need the upgraded wristband. Individual rides on Texas Tornado only cost $4 a piece, so if you feel you won't be able to get more than 3 rides on Texas Tornado due to crowd levels, it would actually be cheaper to just go ahead and buy the regular wristband and pay per ride. There is a ticket booth right next to Fantastic Voyage, which is across the path from the entrance to Texas Tornado, to make this super easy to do. And one couple on a roller coaster trip did exactly this during my visit. And I bought the regular wristband on Wednesday evening, as I used that day to not worry about Texas Tornado. As difficult as it is to get enough riders, I was going up and down the midway trying to create a large enough group for my second and third rides. I got lucky with my first ride, as some people were already waiting up near the station, and I ran into a group of about 6 people that I convinced to go ahead and ride with me, since they all had the unlimited wristband. What really annoys me is that it is not easy to see if the coaster is about to go. The station is enclosed, so you can only see if a group of people are waiting outside trying to get a group together. The park does not make an announcement, which it could easily do, giving guests a few minutes to arrive at the station before the train departs. Otherwise, you will just hear the coaster going, reminding you that you missed being on it. Flocking to this coaster after you see it going, though, also does not guarantee a ride. Most riders, despite having the unlimited ride wristband for Texas Tornado, were not too interested in going again, as they asked people while we were walking down the exit ramp. And I saw a few people waiting who missed being on the train that I went on, having to walk away dejected as no one else came up the queue line to fill another train. Fortunately, seeing who is interested in riding Texas Tornado is not too difficult. Many guests will get the upgraded wristband, mainly I think because they're not smart enough to evaluate what the best deal actually is. Also, the park is pretty mum about its rider requirements before you buy a pass. So, uninformed guests will only find this out after purchasing and then mainly be upset about these limitations on their upgraded wristband. Anyone with a red wristband has the upgraded WOW Pass or unlimited rides on Texas Tornado, so you can easily go up and say, "Hey, we're trying to get a group together for Texas Tornado. Are you interested?" Some will still say no, but it's a convenient way to identify potential riders while walking around the park. And if a couple of people are willing to work together, makes riding on a slow day possible. After getting enough people to ride, this coaster does have a slow dispatch. To be fair, with it being an upcharge, there is always a crew of 2 sitting in the station waiting for a train to make. And with no hurry for the next train, this slow dispatch is understandable. They also have to scan each passenger's wristband during the loading process while also checking restraints. There was also only one front row seat available, so it did take me a couple of tries to get the front row, and I kinda think I only got it on my last ride because the group as a whole was thankful that I was able to round up enough people to meet the minimum rider requirements. I do feel the back rows were better anyways, as you get a bit more from the drops and speed back there. After finally leaving the station, it feels like a true accomplishment that you're able to depart. You round a small, uneventful pre-lift before going up a standard lift hill next to a freeway. The first drop offers a solid drop as it is bigger than anything else in the park, but Mousetrap next door really has 2 nice drops, so comparatively it is not too special or memorable of a drop. Since this coaster seems to run similar to a Schwarzkopf at times, it is nice to see a straight drop instead of a curved drop on this type of coaster. But then you have one of the star moments of this coaster. No, it is not the vertical loop. In a couple valleys on this coaster, there are some weird kinks that will shake you to one side. This likely is due to the poor design of the coaster, but these lateral kinks, combined with the strong positive G's of the valleys, create a really enjoyable moment on a roller coaster. And if you're concerned that these forces might be a bit too much and give you a headache, normally that's my take on any positive G's and valleys. I'm looking at you, Batman the Ride. But even Roadrunner Express at Six Flags Fiesta Texas has a bit too much in the positive G department for my tastes, especially if I'm already feeling a bit beat up from other coasters. I'm looking at you, Boomerang. But the forces on Texas Tornado blend beautifully to give you a real wow moment. Couldn't resist. That will have you feeling like this was a nice, strong coaster when you get off. The closest I can compare this to is the blend of drops and positive G's on Steel Lasso at Frontier City if you sit in the very front row, where the 2 forces are able to complement each other beautifully. This is a kink and a positive G, though, but it's equally an excellent blend. The first of these kinks is a slight turn to the left right before the first loop that pairs nicely after that initial drop. Then you have the first iconic loop. This is not too great, but enjoyable as a solid vertical loop. I can enjoy the forces on vertical loops, though most aren't too special unless I get some nice hang time. This loop doesn't have the crushing forces of, say, Shockwave or any hang time like Superman Krypton Coaster, so it was pretty bland as far as the loop goes. After the loop, you have an awkward upward portion that does not give any airtime, despite its awkward profiling, and does have anti-rollbacks in case the train decides it just doesn't want to make it all the way up. This section looks like it might possibly do something, even if that is just a little lateral kink, but it did very little to nothing for me. This is followed by a second drop that is more of a turning drop. It still delivers an okay drop feeling, but again, no airtime or anything like that. It is a bit less than the first drop. However, as you start to go upwards out of this valley, there is once again a lovely lateral kink. This is probably the best moment on the ride, as you will be violently thrown about as your train tries to straighten out. Since you're going up a little, the positive G's are subsiding just a little bit, making a great blend of forces without causing too much overall pain. The third hill is forgettable as you get nothing close to airtime, and the drop is not too special either. Weirdly, before the final loop, there is another lateral kink in this valley that will give you a nice sense of enjoyment before going through the second iconic loop, which is about as good and bland as the first. The finale of the ride has you dip underneath the bumper cars into a tunnel and turn to the right to go back to the station. Although a perfect place for a good old lateral kink with positive G's, this part of the ride is actually strangely smooth. The final pop into the brake run will give a slight airtime pop only in the very first row, which is a strange sensation with a relatively weak airtime or non-existent airtime throughout the rest of the coaster. But it is a nice way to end the coaster if you sit up front. Overall, how good is Texas Tornado? Although enjoyable, just how this coaster ranks was a bit difficult for me to decide. Every time I came off it, I was wowed with its strength, as it feels like a real strong coaster. But with the lack of airtime or other forces that I look for on a coaster, I didn't rank it too highly at first, placing it right above Busch Gardens Scorpion. But on second thought, and after rewriting many of the Texas coasters right above Texas Tornado offers the complete package, even if it is in a bit of a unique way. Thus, I have it right below Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, which I do rank lower than most due to its short length, and right above Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando, which offers an incredible ejector pop when you finally break that ice. Texas Tornado is a solid coaster. I just wish that it was much easier to ride. Do you have any stories about how hard it was for you to ride this coaster? Did you find this coaster to be strangely good as well? Let me know, and as always, Cup Kun Grap.